Now, you can take command of Megaforce.
Enemy sighted!
Thorhammer in position!
Steady!
Tanks down!
Fire at will!
Bombs away!
Strato Fortress! Release fighter jet! Backlash bomber closing! Lock on target! Fire one!
Megaforce. Entire armies at your command. Strato Fortress and other vehicles sold separately. You have to put them together. From Kent. Megaforce.
Welcome back to another Plasticon review. Today we're going to cover some more V-Rocs Megaforce. Today, we're going to cover this guy called Brimstone. Yeah, Brimstone. A rocket launcher called Brimstone. This thing is literally kind of a straightforward type of vehicle. It's got a lot of camouflage going on here, which I think is really odd that they chose this real dark brown to go with this tan and green. It would have been cooler to see this more or less in a green color, but it's very cool. You can obviously tell it's a very large rocket on the end. It does raise up and down. It's got a lot of molded detail throughout it, tons of molded detail. It's insane how much detail is really put into this. It's got a lot of paneling. So you've got a 121 tampoed there. That's the thing. This is all tampoing. There's no stickers on this at all. I do like the design, and I like the attention to detail with all the color. It's got a lot of grill stuff, like all underneath the missile launcher itself. It's just tons of detail. It does have a place here for an anti-aircraft tank to park, which is really cool. And a lot of diamond plate under here and everything else, just this is where you would dock the other tank. I do like the idea that the feet of the anti-aircraft tank actually kind of meet up with this. So if this thing is driving fairly fast, it almost has like an aerodynamic thing going on, which, I don't know, I guess these things will travel fairly quick. Just thought it was interesting that they actually did that. That was something I don't think they necessarily had to do. It was really cool. It does fire the missile, although mine is a bit shoddy because it's so old. But sometimes it will and sometimes it won't. Mine's not firing at all. You're supposed to push this down and it should fire it off. Unfortunately, the spring mechanism in mine is not working very well, and like I had reiterated a couple times before in the past, the design of these, a lot of these are not designed to come apart. Look at the base detail underneath though. You can see where the axle goes through the wheels and actually holds the mechanism here that moves up and down, and everything here is actually kind of welded with a I would say like almost like a soldering gun that they use to push the plastic to kind of rivet this metal piece in to keep it from separating. But the fact is, this missile here, it's just very difficult to get to launch because I guess the spring is so weak in it, or there we go. It's hard to get this off. Sometimes these launch, sometimes they don't. I happen to have a secondary one and it doesn't launch either. These tend to, I would say the mechanism on these tend to probably get worn out pretty easily if that's the case, because this actually is caught in there pretty good when I pulled it out. I've actually looked down inside this thing. I really can't figure out why it will not launch. But the cruise missile itself is a gigantic, it's pretty hefty, and it's solid plastic. It's not rubber or anything, so it's pretty cool. It's got a lot of detail and just paint tampo all over it, which is kind of neat. I mean, if you do want to store these, I mean, I would store them so they wouldn't get, you know, caught. But see, maybe I can just kind of pull this back a little bit and see if I can get the fire. Not really. Let's try it again. Okay, there we go. there we fired the missile because, you know, I pushed it into there and the spring actually shot it. I think it's just a gripping mechanism that tends to catch this too easily and doesn't want to release. I don't know how that actually works on the inside. Like I said, I have never disassembled one of these to be able to figure that out. But it's like I said, I mean, it only goes down so far, so not much you can do there. This part here will not really stay up very well without the missile on the end, mainly because it's just sitting on an axle. I can probably see somebody out there taking some like fingernail polish or floor wax to tighten that a little bit so that way it would work pretty cool. But this Brimstone missile launcher is actually a really cool addition to the Megaforce line because it really does kind of build up your army and it makes your army look a lot larger, especially when you have this thing here parked next to a couple tanks along with, you know, maybe a few anti-aircraft tanks just kind of chilling over here as well with it. It really does kind of beef it out a little bit because it shows that this thing's pretty large. And then if you decide to have a Scorpion tank back behind it, you could, but, you know, gives you a bit of a size comparison. This thing is not large, but not exactly small. It's a pretty good sized little missile launcher. When you do purchase these, though, they normally come with an anti-aircraft tank and the missile itself. So if you are trying to find it, that's pretty much going to be your lot right there. Anyhow, this has been Plasticon. This has been yet another Megaforce review. I'll end up having a lot more coming your guys' way because, you know, these things are awesome and they're really cool. Anyhow, this is me signing off. Peace out, you guys. See you around. Bye!